Just 3 wins so far for the Patriots. What's your feelings on what you've seen with them so far this season?
Yeah, just haven't done enough to win very many games on any level. They had trouble on defense. One of the last ranked teams on offense, if not the bottom ranked. Missed some key field goals and some kicking plays as well. So I'd say all 3 areas of the game just haven't been good enough to win. And they still got a couple games left against Buffalo, right? They have a bye week this week, so maybe they can get a few things straightened out. But it's just been a pretty inconsistent year. Just haven't been able to do enough to win when they needed to.
How have these guys played for you? Do you feel for them in this situation, or have you just moved on in your head?
No, there are a lot of people there that very close to. A lot of them that I brought there, defense, especially defensively. Almost all those players are re-signed, and most all the offensive skill players too. So it's it's hard to see them going through that type of a season. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, just sit back and watch it. But of course, I feel bad for a lot of those guys. But especially the defensive players. I know those guys work hard. They're tough, and they care and they put a lot into it. It's a National Football League. It's very competitive. You gotta find a way to stand up to the competition, and that's a challenge for every team.
Bill Belichick on the Let's Go podcast with Jim Gray. Second time this year we've heard him say he feels sorry for the guys on defense.
Yeah. Yep. We made that pretty clear.
Which, he was a very touchy-feely guy when he was here. Always very
emotional, yep.
With his emotions. Feels for the guys on defense. Interesting from Bill Belichick. Some pointed criticism there of the Patriots coaching staff. We'll get into it on Jones and Keefe on WEEI Tier Tuesday, Tommy Tuesday. We'll get to Keefe for Madness at 12:45. But joining us right now on what's effectively a Patriots Friday on a Tuesday, it's the bye week, is Patriots defensive lineman Deatrich Wise. He's brought to you by Shaw's and Star Market, perfecting the art of fresh. Deatrich, how we doing this week?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing great. We know you always have questions for us. We'll get to those a little later on in the interview. But I wanted to start with a question for you about what we just played from Bill Belichick. That's the second time this year in one of his many media outlets that he said he feels sorry for you guys on defense or feels for you guys on defense. I was just curious if you had any reaction to that from Bill.
No, no reaction. I feel like he's expressing how he feels about certain situations, and that's how he feels.
How do you feel, Deatrich, about the defense? You guys were obviously in this game, 1-point defeat, and it was just that last drive where the Colts were able to put an 80-yard drive together and convert on 3 fourth downs, as well as getting the 2-point conversion. So just take us through that drive and how you guys feel after that.
Yeah, definitely wanted to get off the field. I had the opportunity to get off the field. Should have got off the field. So we know where we went wrong during the game, and it's up to us to change it.
You said you know where you went wrong. Where'd you go wrong specifically? I mean, I know you want to get off the field, but where specifically?
Yeah, on that last. When you have a team in third down, the main thing is to stop them. Whatever the 2 or 3 third downs that they converted, it was many different things that we needed to do and didn't. So our main thing, I know I'm sorry, redundant here, was 3 and outs on our last drive. The best thing we should have did was 3 and outs. The second best thing is to not let them score. So.
We talked to you prior to playing against Anthony Richardson, one of the bigger, stronger quarterbacks in the league. What were the challenges going up against a guy that big, that fast?
He does it, like I said earlier, he does a great job getting the ball out, getting the ball to his receivers, throwing the ball. And then if that's ever taken away or he feels like he needs to put a game in his hands, he has the ability to run. And we knew that going into the game, and that was one of our focus points.
Talking to Patriots defensive lineman Deatrich Wise, who joins us here on Jones and Keefe on WEEI. I'm sure you've seen the hit on Trevor Lawrence by now. Azeez Al-Shaair suspended 3 games by the NFL. How do you balance that when you're going against quarterbacks, like you mentioned, Anthony Richardson, these big, physical, athletic specimens? How do you balance going for the hit when a guy's sliding versus, leaning out on a play where now quarterbacks can tend to take advantage of that on the sideline or kind of fake going down? Like, how do you balance playing on edge but also being disciplined to avoid injuring a quarterback like that?
Most definitely. To be transparent, I have not seen the play.
Okay.
I I usually don't really watch a lot of football after the game. I'm kind of just sending myself and my family, so I didn't get to see anything after our game. So just to put that on the record. Second, with that being said, I know quarterback slide is a very tough split decision sometimes. It's been multiple times I've seen quarterback slide and they have that halo, which if you touch them, it's a flag. I've seen other quarterbacks slide and you hit them and we get up and we just keep on moving. It's a very gray area. We know we're not supposed to, but at the heat of the moment, like I said, I did not see the play, so I'm only talking about plays outside of that play because I did not see that play. So I'm letting you know once again. But it's a very gray area sometimes when the quarterback slides. So you have to be very careful when you're approaching a quarterback and trying to gauge it. And it's just one of those tough situations. Some quarterbacks slide late, some quarterbacks slide early. It's all about like just that split decision, what you're going to do.
Do you guys feel like you tackle enough in practices?
No, you don't really tackle in practice. It's all like hitting the bags, hitting the dummies. Definitely as D linemen, we're the only position on the field, in my opinion, that doesn't complete their job. We hit the guys, we make our moves, we share blocks, but we never tackle. We never finish on the ground. So that's one thing that as D linemen, we always have to make sure that when we do tackling drills, we make sure that we hone in on them, whether it's bag work, whether it's just the tackle, whatever it is.
How challenging is that? I mean, I know, player safety is very important and it's a long season and they keep adding games to it. So, I'm not saying everybody should be smashing into each other all week in practice, but if you go all week and you're not really doing it and then come game day, you guys are all expected to, make every tackle, make tackles cleanly. It just seems like the less padded practice has got to be more difficult for the defense, certainly, than the offense.
Less padded practice is more difficult. I don't think that really plays a factor into it, having more or less padded practices. I think padded practices help you get the rhythm, the feel for the game. But as far as on the field, I think either I don't really. I guess to answer, I don't really understand your question. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm hearing you correctly.
I'm just wondering if, not being able to tackle or have a lot of contact during practices and then come game day, does that sort of maybe explain why, there are missed tackles or there are penalties because, people don't have the technique down, all that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a two-sided conversation. Guys are really good avoiding tackles, and then other guys are either really good at making tackles or not good at making tackles. Tackling come down techniques and fundamentals, honestly. Squaring a guy up, shuffling in, making a hit, wrapping up, grabbing claws, grabbing legs, and that's pretty much it.
I guess I shouldn't make the same mistake I assumed earlier that you had seen the Lawrence hit. I don't know if you saw what went down at Michigan and Ohio State after the game, but I'll catch you up to speed. Michigan wins the game. You did see that?
I did not see
Oh, you
that.
did not see that one. I'm sorry. Okay, so what happened is Michigan planted a flag at midfield after beating Ohio State in a rivalry game. You went to Arkansas. LSU, I think, is your big rival. How would you handle, LSU coming out and planting their flag at midfield?
Who won? Who? I'm sorry.
So the game was in Ohio. The game was in Ohio State. They were big favorites. Michigan won the game, and then Michigan took a Michigan flag, planted it at the 50-yard line to celebrate. Oh, wow. And then Ohio State players started fighting them.
Yeah,
there were
disrespectful.
Fans, there were like security. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a real tough decision. First of all, the game is over. If you want to do all the fighting, you should have done it during the game. Have the energy towards winning the game. Second of all, I can see both sides. Ohio think it's disrespect. And at the end of the day, if you want to get back at them, work super hard next year to beat them. Make sure they never do it again. Use this fuel. That's what I would say, my guys.
After today,
what you don't want. Yeah. Huh?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Now go ahead. What you saying?
I was just gonna say you guys get the bye week coming up, so after today you'll have some time off. You got any plans for the week?
A bunch of R&R. 3 R's: rest, recovery, and reflection. That's it.
Okay. I know you usually like to put us on the spot. You like to reverse roles here.
Sure.
So you got any questions for us before you hit the bye week?
Yeah, that's a good question. Who do you think is going to win between Texas and Georgia?
Oh,
Texas.
Georgia.
Whoa.
And why?
I don't know. I
think Georgia's overrated.
I went the opposite of Keefe. That's all. That's my instinct, Deatrich, is just to disagree with him. That's all.
I don't know. I thought Georgia has been kind of down this year. They went to 8 overtimes against Georgia Tech, so I'll take Texas.
Ooh. Now, didn't Georgia beat Texas earlier this season?
Did that?
Oh, that's a thumbs up. That's a thumbs up back there from
Okay,
Nick.
all right.
Honestly, you stumped us on that one. Did that happen?
I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah. So, I mean, even though they went 8 overtimes with the team they know, you think the team they don't know, they already beat them once, you think they can do it again?
Yeah, Keefe.
Or you think Texas
Keefe.
No, I'll take Texas.
Sounds like
Texas.
Deatrich is with me.
I'm taking Texas.
Yeah, in your face.
That's fine.
I'm just asking questions here. I'm on the other side of the phone now.
Right? It's nice. It's nice to be in charge of the questions, isn't it? It's nice to run the interview. You don't really, you don't have to be put on the spot. It is nice to do that. All right. Well, Deatrich, we appreciate it.
Now I know Keith says Texas.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Jones
is going Georgia.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, we'll
Georgia.
Yeah, I'm going to plant the flag at midfield after the game. Well, Deatrich, we always appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
No problem. You have a great one.
All right, you too.
Deatrich Wise of the Patriots joins us here on what's effectively a Patriots Friday.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday, Patriots hitting the bye week. So there you go. You got Texas in that one, Keith.
They did that. So that was their lone loss this year.
Big Longhorn
Texas
guy.
only lost once.
At home to Georgia, yeah. It wasn't competitive at all.
Big Longhorn guy.
No, I've liked Texas this year. I have.
I bet A&M over the weekend, and it didn't go so hot. So
no.
I feel like I got kind of
Arch Manning in that
I got
one,
kind
that's
of
why.
robbed on a backdoor cover in that game. If we're being honest, they're at the one. They didn't run it in. It was a
I think
whole thing.
the last
they
bet.
tried to.
The last bet I
They
probably
tried
won was, let me look this up, September 7th when Texas beat Michigan. That was back at Michigan when Michigan was ranked 10th.
Yeah.
I could smell them. I'm like, this is not a good team. I think that was the last bet I won, though. So
Nice.
take that into account.
Do you think Deatrich is going to watch that game, or do you think we're going to have to tell him what happened in it after the
Probably
fact?
tell him about it
Yeah.
after the fact.
We'll catch him up to speed on what happened in that game.
That might not be a bad feature, is we just sort of recap events to Deatrich Wise.
Like world events.
Anything. I can explain to him like the last movie I saw, just like start to finish. Then Jones can tell him about like a game that just happened.
Yeah.
You see the Celtics last night? He's like, no. I'm like, well, all right, sit down. Peyton Pritchard was on fire, Deatrich. You should have seen it. That's fine. He doesn't.
Who's Peyton Pritchard?
He doesn't need to watch
Look,
sports.
the guy's got stuff going on. That's okay.
Were my practice
RRR.
Now-
Rest, recovery, reflection.
I
man's
have
got
the
stuff
4
going on.
R's.
Oh,
Rest, recovery, reflection, rum. Dark rum, spiced rum, whatever it might be. Were my practice questions really bad? Be honest. Were they bad?
no, I understood it.
He was super confused by him.
I think
I wasn't trying to stump him.
No, I think he just. My read on that was he got a little worried about. Sounded like he was making too much of an excuse.
Oh, and I'm not.
And maybe-
I'm that's more around the league. That's more of a general thing. Like every week you see bad tackling. That wasn't even a direct Patriot shot. And maybe he didn't want it to be an excuse, but think about that. If you don't do something all week long,
Yeah.
and then you're expected to do it at the highest level on Sunday, and then you don't, like, oh, come on, do better at tackling. We're not going to do it again until next Sunday, but like I don't know. I feel like that'd be difficult for those guys.
Right. But sit here.
But you're right. You don't want to make an
You
excuse.
sit here silently, no takes all week, and then you
No take.
you got to do it every Sunday.
Just the hottest take possible on
yeah,
Sunday.
just
Can I
once a
polish
week.
off some takes? No.
No,
No, you can't.
Ease my way in.
Yeah.
Work my way through. Workshop some takes.
Yep, dip your toe in.
Yeah,
to a
you
take.
can't just jump right in on a Sunday.
I got it.
So there you go. That's Deatrich Wise. If you missed any of that, Odyssey app, AUDACY. He always likes to put us on the spot with a question there at the end.
Oh, yeah.
A bit of a curveball. But we pick sides now. Keith's a Longhorn. I'm a Bulldog. Rooting interest.
Hook 'em horns.
Yeah.
Me and Matthew McConaughey.
You can choose your sides accordingly.